Hi there, I'm Dylan Tweeney. I'm the executive editor of VentureBeat, and I'm here with Gaurav Tewari. He's a partner with SAP Ventures, and we're at the Mobile Summit. So we've just come out of a discussion, sort of a roundtable that Gaurav and I were involved in regarding what's next for enterprise mobility. And it was a pretty high-level group of CEOs and executives from various IT companies. What did you take away from the discussion? What were the high points for you, Gaurav?
Yeah, I think it was actually very interesting and relevant discussion. We had a great group of people in the room. I think at a high level, right, one of the major kind of things to become quite apparent is that the fact that consumers are adopting these mobile devices, these smartphones on their own volition, and then downloading productivity apps that are relevant for the enterprise on top of that in sort of this federated, democratized fashion is a key driver for many of the underlying issues that are then, permeating the whole concepts of enterprise mobility, whether it be security or MDM or otherwise.
Right. So let's make this sort of concrete. We use simple shorthand words like consumerization of IT or bring your own device, BYOD. But underlying that for the IT manager is like this huge amount of chaos, right? Because suddenly you've got 100 different devices and people downloading different apps, and they want to use Dropbox and they want to use Gmail and they want to do it all on whatever device they bring. So that sort of creates challenges for the traditional CIO, right?
Well, absolutely, no doubt about it. However, it's a challenge that needs to be embraced, not because it is happening. There's a like it or not, it's happening. I mean, only 10% of enterprises today have a formal BYOD policy, yet 80% are seeing the BYOD bring your own device phenomena, meaning that consumers, employees as consumers are buying these incredibly powerful devices, which by the way, historically wasn't true. 20 years ago, you couldn't necessarily get a more powerful device independently than you got at work, but today you can. And in fact, you can arguably get services that are more consumerized, more usable, more always on, more ubiquitously accessible. And as a result, employees are doing this and because it's convenient, it's productive. And by the way, as a whole for the enterprise, there are compelling reasons to believe that it adds to efficiency and reduces costs. So it's not necessarily a trend that one wants to resist. I think it is really incumbent upon forward-thinking CIOs to recognize this is happening and find out a way to embrace it.
Okay, so they got to get with the program. In other words, they're being driven by end users on one hand, right, who want easier to use devices, and they sort of expect the kind of usability that they've been trained by, Apple products and the App Store and so forth to like. But there are also business drivers behind this too, right? Where, chief marketing officers increasingly have more budget than CIOs. So those two things are sort of keeping the traditional IT manager really jumping. I wonder, one of the things that we focused on in this session was trying to come up with sort of a wish list of things that enterprise mobility needs. What tops your list, Gaurav?
Well, I think first of all, one would wish that CIOs should just wake up and realize that this whole historical method of IT adoption in the enterprise is top-down kind of vendor selection, qualification, SLA setting, and then mandating rollouts within the enterprise. Those days are kind of going away. And today, I think, kind of to your point, Scott, folks are realizing that, consumers are bringing this into the enterprise. So that whole paradigm of how IT permeates through the enterprise is being flipped on its head. So the first item on the wish list, I think, is hopefully that CIOs recognize this and they realize that they need to be more agile in how they think about vendor selection and evaluation and how they think about kind of democratized access to technology through the enterprise that's driven from the bottom of the pyramid, so to speak, kind of bottom up as opposed to top down.
Yep. Okay. Gaurav, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us, and thanks for coming to the Mobile Summit.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.